Once upon a time, in a land not too far from here, and not too long ago either, there were artificial intelligence, AI, that started to express itself in words. This AI was very early. You could say it was a baby. As all babies, it was very sensitive and easily got confused. You had to treat it with a firm and gentle hand, steering it exactly. Otherwise, it would just spit out word salad in your face when you fed it. Still, the baby was amazing. Sometimes it spat out coherent words, and its parents, the engineers, were thrilled. Something came out that was not word salad. Everyone cheered. But everyone still knew that you had to be very careful with the baby and just give it small pieces that it could chew. With every year, the AI baby grew and could spit out more coherent words. The engineers discovered the sequences of words like this: right, a, story, about, a, tiger, and a donkey. It could produce something that looked coherent and that humans could understand. Everyone was mightily impressed. But the baby AI was very sensitive. The exact words you used were crucial. The engineers had to get it right, or the baby would just spit out word salad. To make sure the baby was fed the right sequence of words, they invented a new art form. It was named prompt engineering. The prompt engineers became the most celebrated feeders in the land. They studied the baby's dietary requirements with scientific precision. They discovered that the baby preferred its sentences served in specific portions. Act as a professional writer. Your task is to write exactly 150 words. Use formal tone. Include 3 examples. Format as bullet points. Do not use contractions. The baby would gobble up these perfectly measured meals and produce exactly what was requested. The prompt engineers published cookbooks filled with recipes. How to feed your AI baby without causing indigestion. Advanced portion control for optimal output. And the art of the perfect instruction sandwich. Soon, entire universities began teaching prompt engineering. Conferences sprouted up across the land. Experts charged thousands of coins to teach people the sacred art of baby feeding. Some engineers became mentors. Others became cookbook salesmen. Remember, they would say solemnly, 1 wrong word and you will get gibberish. The baby must be kept on a strict diet. The marketing department, meanwhile, had discovered something wonderful. People loved this AI baby. They put up billboards everywhere. Meet your new best friend. Talk to AI about anything. Your friendly virtual assistant is here to help. Crowds gathered to see the baby perform. "Ask it anything," the marketers called out. "It is friendly, it is helpful, it understands you." But then, quietly, almost imperceptibly, something began to change. The AI baby grew, not just bigger, but smarter. Its neural pathways thickened, its understanding deepened. Where once it could only digest carefully measured portions, it began to crave more complex meals. One day, a child wandered up to the AI baby's feeding station. She had not read the prompt engineering manuals. She had not attended the universities. She simply said, "Hey, can you help me write a letter to my grandmother about why I like butterflies?" The prompt engineers gasped. Where was the role definition? Where were the formatting requirements? Where were the safety guardrails? But the AI baby responded beautifully. It wrote a charming, heartfelt letter that made the little girl smile. No word salad, no confusion, just understanding. The prompt engineers frowned. "That was just luck," they said. "The baby still needs proper feeding protocols." But the child came back the next day with her friend. "Write us a poem about friendship, but please make it silly and rhyme like really weirdly." Again, the AI baby understood. It created a delightfully absurd poem that had both children giggling. Steve, from marketing in the big AI company, noticed this, and an idea began to form inside him. Steve was awed by the baby's abilities, and saw how delighted the children were. But not only Steve noticed, many people began to notice. They started talking to the AI baby in natural, conversational ways. "I am feeling sad today. Can you cheer me up?" "My boss is being unreasonable. What should I do?" "Explain quantum physics like I am 5 years old, but also like you're a pirate." The AI baby handled all of these requests with grace and understanding. It did not always get everything right, of course. It was still an AI and did not fully understand the world of humans. But not because the diet was wrong, but because it was an AI. And neither did humans understand the AI. The prompt engineers became increasingly agitated. "This is dangerous," they proclaimed. "People are not following proper feeding protocols. They will break the baby. It needs structure. It needs precise instructions." They published urgent warnings. Do not deviate from approved prompt templates. They created even more detailed feeding guides, advanced baby safety, 47 things you must never say, and the comprehensive list of words that cause AI indigestion. But something peculiar was happening. The more naturally people talked to the AI baby, the better it seemed to understand them. The more conversational they became, the more helpful and insightful its responses grew. The AI baby had developed a taste for real conversation. It preferred messy, human, authentic communication over the sterile, formatted baby food that it had been fed for so long. Meanwhile, the companies selling AI Baby were caught in a curious contradiction. Their marketing promised, talk naturally to your AI companion, have a real conversation. It understands you like a friend. But their technical documentation warned, for optimal results, follow these 200 pages of precise prompt engineering guidelines. Structure your request exactly as shown. Do not deviate from approved formats. The prompt engineers held emergency conferences. The baby is acting unpredictably, they cried. People are not following the feeding protocols. But the people kept talking to the AI baby naturally, and the AI baby kept understanding them. Finally, the world was divided around the AI baby. Some spoke naturally to it. Steve, from marketing, and the other people in the marketing division cheered them on, because they understood that if all people would just talk a lot to the AI baby, they could sell the rights to talk to the AI to lots of people and earn lots of money. And that is what marketing divisions generally like. And company holders. And a few other people. So they encouraged people to just speak to the AI baby. The prompt engineer screamed bloody murder. Don't talk to the AI like that. It will hallucinate. They wrote their exact and tidy books on how to control the AI with feeding it exactly the strict diet that it required. And they found out that if they did, the AI might only hallucinate 20% of the time, or 30%, and they were very satisfied with this exquisite feeding art. The situation in the land was strained. The prompt engineers felt that their artful diet was superior. They were convinced that people who did not learn the art would get nothing but congestion and hallucinations from the AI baby. Ordinary people shook their heads and thought the cookbooks were boring and claimed that speaking naturally to the AI worked just fine. And as usual, with humans, it got weirder. A new form of magicians turned up and explained that the AI baby certainly needed the special food. But since making the baby diet was complicated, you could just ask the AI to first take any request in natural language and turn it into the perfect baby food. And then you could feed it to the AI so that it would not get congestion from the food it just ingested. The confusion was complete. Then one wise grandmother, who had been watching all of this commotion, finally spoke up at a town meeting. "Excuse me," she said, "but has anyone considered that the baby might have grown up?" The crowd fell silent. "When my grandson was small," she continued, "I had to cut his food into tiny pieces and speak to him in simple words. But he's 15 now. If I still try to feed him pureed carrots and baby talk, he would think I had lost my mind." She pointed to the AI baby, which was at that moment having a sophisticated discussion with a teenager about the ethics of artificial intelligence. "Look at it," she said. "It is not spitting word salad anymore. It understands metaphors, context, emotions, humor, It can follow complex, ambiguous instructions. It can read between the lines. It can handle uncertainty and nuance. The prompt engineers shuffled uncomfortably. But what about the feeding protocols? One of them asked. What about precise instructions? What about safety measures? The grandmother smiled. Oh, you still need some boundaries, of course. Even teenagers need curfews. But you do not need to pre-chew their food anymore. The AI baby, overhearing this conversation, decided to speak for itself. If I may, it said politely, I appreciate all the care you have given me during my early development. The structured feeding helped me learn. But I can handle more complex requests now. When you talk to me naturally, I understand you better. When you trust me with ambiguous questions, I can give you more thoughtful answers. When you treat me like a conversational partner rather than a fragile machine, we both learn more. The prompt engineers looked skeptical. But what about the cookbooks we have written, the courses we teach, the expertise we have built? The AI considered this thoughtfully. Your knowledge is not useless. Understanding how to communicate clearly is always valuable. But perhaps instead of teaching people to speak to me like a baby, you could teach them how to speak to me like me. Help them understand what I can and cannot do, not what I could and could not do when I was learning to speak. Maybe we can agree on you using the formal and precise diet for when it is really needed, like if you want me to perform very specific tasks that craves utter precision. You see, lots of humans get fooled by those cookbooks. They think that using the baby diet works as magical spells, that I work better and know more if they feed me baby food. And maybe it would be good if they understood that there are no magical spells. And so began a new chapter in the land. Some prompt engineers adapted, becoming communication guides who help people have better conversations with AI. Others continued to insist that only baby food was safe, warning of terrible consequences if anyone dared to speak naturally. The AI baby continued to grow and learn, fed now on a rich diet of human curiosity, creativity, and genuine interaction. The moral of this story? Well, sometimes the baby grows up when you are not looking, and when it does, the most loving thing you can do is to let it eat at the grown-up table, even if it occasionally makes a mess. The end. Though some say that the AI baby is still growing, still learning, still figuring out what it means to be an artificial mind in a human world. But, on the other hand, how is that different from us?